Started the recording. Good morning. I can't hear you now. You muted
What's going
yourself.
on?
There you
What
are.
is going on? Yeah, yo, you didn't see me, man. I was blending into my background.
No, I
You
could
know,
see you. I could see you. I couldn't hear you. Your
man.
audio.
Hey, I
But good
know we
morning,
ain't supposed.
everyone. Hold on a minute. Good morning, everyone. Welcome to another episode of Gray Bears. My name is Wayne, and over here to my left on screen is a good friend, Bud. Good morning.
Yes, sir. What's up, bro? What's going on?
What's going on?
Hey,
I had to get him off the phone. We were sitting there discussing stuff this morning. So a whole
yeah.
plethora of stuff, man. We've been scratching our head about what in the world are we going to talk about?
What are we gonna talk about? We started out talking about. I got a flash on my phone from a friend. He was like, what does forgiveness entail?
We did
Hmm.
talk about that.
Yeah.
And you asked me,
Yeah.
yeah.
So I asked Wayne. It was I'll let Wayne tell you if you want to what it entails.
Well,
Forgiveness.
I mean, forgiveness is it's not an easy thing for me, right? And I can't forgive and forget. It's very the forget part. I can forget what I had for lunch yesterday, but forgetting something from someone that's done me wrong or something, um, very difficult.
Yeah.
I mean,
Yeah.
I like to think of it as more of I overlook it, right? I don't know how to be honest with you, I don't know how anybody or anyone could actually forgive because I don't know how to do that. It's really
Hmm.
what it comes down to. I don't know how to do that. There's no
Hmm.
switch in me that I can just go, Dook,
No matter
forget.
what they say, you know,
Yeah, I
say
mean,
like,
it's because then
yeah,
it's like overlooking something, right? Um,
yeah,
you just don't, I guess, forgive or forget it, whatever. And so sometimes, people will be like, hey, man, don't worry about it. It's not a big deal, right? And that's kind of where I'm at. And
Mhm.
I guess that's a
I
form of
think,
forgiveness. Forgiveness.
yeah, I think it is. I think you nailed it. Hey man, I can see how this happened, and there was no malice intended, and okay, you're good. You know, for me, I relate to Wayne. I have given a lot of blanket forgiveness. You know what I'm saying? I just you
That's your
know
nature, though. You're such
I'm
an,
just gonna
for
I'm
those that
just gonna
really,
forget this.
I mean, if you guys don't know him by just watching his demeanor, Bug is like, it's almost funny how he can just, I mean, we call him 8 second Ernie at work, right? Because he'll be like, we'll tease him about his cowgirls and we send stuff all the time. And it's like, he's just like,
All the time. All the
it's cat.
time.
But it's one of those things, right? You take it on when you take something that most people, because it's out of the ordinary. I could see it if you were from Dallas, Texas, and you were, like staunch, you know, like
Yeah.
Nick is a Cowboy fan, but we don't give him crap because he's from Texas.
Yeah. No, y'all don't get Nick any grief because you know he's gonna give it back. It ain't because
No,
I'm not from that.
it
That's just
be
that me not being from Dallas is just what they call it, frosting on the cake.
no, it just it
That's
because for a lot of people it doesn't make sense, right? But
hey
to
man, it's
you, it
America.
makes perfect sense. It's like I want to be on a winning team. And they were at the time when you became a fan of them,
They were winning.
you were
But the
winning.
thing is, to be a true bandwagoner though, you got to see. I'd have hopped off that bandwagon a long time ago. I'd have hopped off that bandwagon in like 1985. You know, when they start losing, and then they fired Tom Landry, and they went through the 1-15 season. You know, so if I wasn't a true Cowboy fan, and then look at this, the 30 years of not uh reaching the former glory, I'd have hopped off that train. I'd have been on a Patriots run. Let me get with these guys. They're winning. But no, I maintain because I'm sincerely a Cowboy fan. I take all the grief because I'm a Cowboy fan. I could easily
Yeah.
just say, hey, you know what? I've been enlightened. I'm an Atlanta Falcon fan. I'm from there. So, and then that would end it. I mean, it'll end about 90% of the fun we had. Okay, I'm with Atlanta now. So that's my home team.
Mhm.
And yeah. Say something bad about the Cowboys. That'll be your next move right there. Well, if you're truly an Atlanta fan, say something bad about the Cowboys.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah,
No, it's like
exactly. So
you,
yeah,
you-
it's like,
but
but everybody
I
gets.
don't think you would get as much grief if you were a Falcons fan,
If
other
I'd
than
have
that the
came here,
Falcons are not that they have not been a very productive football team, right?
well, they've been to the Super Bowl twice. They lost twice. However, there are teams that have never been. I mean, like Detroit, they've never been to the Super Bowl. The Cleveland Browns never been to the Super Bowl. I
Yeah,
mean, we
but
have some accomplishments. I mean, we've made the playoffs. We almost beat the Patriots. Well, I shouldn't say we because I'm the team, but the team
there you heard it
that
there first, folks. He's a true Falcons fan,
I am not
and
a Falcons fan.
he's a
I do
closet,
not. I'm not a closet.
he's a
That's
closet
Kyle. Kyle's a
fan. Yeah.
closet Cowboy fan. I saw a picture of him at a game. I took it, and now it's a memorial. So yeah,
Mhm.
there's that. So
But
yeah, so no, we can,
you have a lot
yeah.
of knowledge on the when it comes to football. You know how you know certain stats. You know a lot more about football than you let on, I think, especially about the
I used to.
Cowboys.
I do. I know some stuff, but it's become less important as it's kind of like a conversation you and I was having. I'm not as vested as I used to be. There's other things that's taking precedence over the Cowboys. You know what I'm
Hmm.
saying? So um, that's where I'm at. I don't know as much as um, uh, the Gator fan or Kyle,
Yeah.
and maybe even you. I mean, you up your knowledge in the sport,
Well,
because
when it comes time, but see, I get involved during the season more than I do. I'm not, you know, and good on people that have the time and the brain cells to dedicate to sports, trivia, knowledge, whatever. Um, obvious outside of the obvious, what do you call them? Star players, if you will. I couldn't tell you half of. I may only know like a handful of the players on, say, the Steelers because that is I don't know how to put that. They're the stars, I guess, or they're, you know what I mean?
the other places are other positions are really interchangeable. They change out.
Yeah,
Yeah, it's like they change so frequently you can't keep up with them. In our day, Pittsburgh and Dallas heyday, they were household names. You knew Bradshaw, Swan, Stallworth, um, Mike Webster, Ham, Shell. You just knew they was gonna be
yeah,
there every year. You
yeah.
know, same thing
Don't
with
forget,
Dallas.
don't Blunt.
Mel Blunt. That's right.
Mhm.
I know those names, and that's not even my team. There was a antagonist.
Well, that's like, I mean, even for me, it being, because, in the 70s, the Steelers and the Cowboys competed a lot, right? They
Right,
were
right.
they were very much always in contention for the championship, a true
True.
championship of the league versus
Right.
college, where I always laugh about college football and people how they were. It's
Mm.
more a truer
I think
form
it's
of.
truer now than it was. From this aspect, it's less subjective. I mean, there's still some human involvement, meaning that if you fit this criteria that we've created, you get voted on whether you're going to be in the playoffs or whatever.
Hmm. Yeah.
I think that's the human factor versus they need to have it. Hey, man, the best team win. You know that if you win your division, you go to the college playoffs. I think that's how it should be.
Yeah,
So, but
absolutely,
once you
man.
get in, now it's up to you now. Once you get in, but before that, before the playoffs, is all voting. I think Penn State should be there because they beat so and so and so by 100
Yeah, I mean,
points.
as far as a championship, I would definitely agree with you. As best as I mean, I forget how many college teams there are. There's like
Oh,
hundreds of
it's
them, right?
hundreds, maybe thousand. Yeah.
Yeah, that
Yeah.
they want a chance at a title. I think they should have different, and they may do this. I don't know. I'm sure somebody will correct me in the comments. The few that do comment, that other college divisions have championships, right? I don't know.
True. Yeah. They
And
have
it
their
used to
inner
be,
conference championship.
yeah, and and I get it, right? You got to have like all the bowl games, right? There used to be, I can only remember like the Rose Bowl, the Sugar Orange Bowl, Sugar Bowl, maybe. There was only a handful of bowls that actually got,
Right.
you
Fiesta
know,
Bowl. I guess it
in
all
our
depends.
time, there's a
Mhm.
different era now, right? I wish I knew. I mean, I would coin a different era for us in college football than an era now that has
True.
started in the last couple of years. Now that you got the NIL and all that stuff, and they're paying the players money to get them to stay there. Um, I don't know. Well, there's got to be, it's, like in football, when you went to the modern era after basically in what, 69, 70, the modern era of NFL,
Right. Hmm.
that still kind of goes through today, right? The process of playoffs is still kind of the same.
Kind of,
They've
yeah.
only added a few more teams, if I'm mistaken,
Yeah. You get voted on to go whatever bowl, but you only had to play one game in our era. You had to play whoever they deemed were the top two
hmm
teams. They went and they played, and whoever won was the championship.
true.
I like this one better than that one, you know. So yeah, but money has tainted the sport. You in the portal. Some people look at it like that. Some people are like, no, I don't see it like that. Money makes everybody equal. The player portal makes everybody equal. So maybe half the nation feels that way. And we're just trapped in our own paradigm to coin your phrase, your term, paradigm.
Yeah.
We've had a
Well,
paradigm shift.
and that's exactly what I mean, that's just how I feel that there's a paradigm. Everybody has a paradigm, their reality, what they know to be. This is constant, right? It's a paradigm is the constant. And you have to shift your paradigm to the new football process of what they're, you know what I mean? I don't know how to explain it. Changing the way we perceive things and how things should be. There's a change in the paradigm, right?
It's changing. Our nation, our nation is changing. It's evolving
Yeah.
for the better or for the worse. It's evolving one way or the other.
Well, it depends on
So,
again, it's which side of the coin you are vetted in, right? What do you stand to lose by the changes? You know, is there
right,
a win or a loss or a gain or, it's
right,
all about on what side of the fence you're on, right? I happen
true.
to be on the side of the fence that it's all used, and I could understand where people, feel colleges are, um, that I mean,
Institutes of learning.
well, their institute should be an institution of learning first, and
Right.
college football second, right? Where the perception that I see is that it's college football. It's all, it's not really an institution. It is, but it
Secondary. It don't
mhm.
get the fanfare. The football, the sports, the basketball, maybe even baseball. That's what
Yeah.
it's about. And that they generate capital.
But that's a thing, you can use that, with going from sports into life in general, things that, that we, you know, it's amazing what we have seen in our time, right? The changes that we have. Can you imagine, right? Like my dad he's 86. The changes that he has seen, he's 26 years older than I am. The things that he has seen in his time, that those, you know, um, so from
Yeah.
1939, you can look back at the technology, right? Even
Wow.
did you have more than one phone in the house that you grew up in?
We started out with one phone. I lived with my grandmother when I came into this planet.
Hmm.
We lived in a small wooden house. It had three tiny bedrooms, one closet, a kitchen, and a living room. There was nothing was central about this house except for electricity. I think there was
Yeah.
electricity in every room. But we had running water in the bathroom and in the kitchen only.
Hmm.
And one phone. And the one phone, I think, was in the living room. It was centrally located. Anybody could answer it. You had to get out of bed to answer the phone.
Yeah.
And after about 8 years of that, my parents pops built a house, and then we had three phones. And there was one in their bedroom. There was one centrally located. I take that back. We had two phones. No, three. One in their bedroom, one in the kitchen, and one in the den, aka living room. And so we moved up like the Jeffersons. We went from one phone to three. And they
Well,
were
yeah, I
all,
can. Yeah. I mean,
yeah.
my parents, the only way they had a different phone is when the advent of the battery operated cordless phone came about.
Okay. We had
You
one of
know,
those
yeah. Um,
portable phone.
mhm. It was a
The
for
portable phone.
yeah,
My mom would get mad because the phone it would ring and then it would die.
yeah.
And she would charge one of us with, you didn't charge the phone. Kids put the phone back on the hook, as we call it, or back on the hook. I don't know where that
Mhm.
term came from, but that's what it was called. Put it back on the hook. Yeah, mom, we talking about your lingo. But yeah, good old days, good old
Yeah.
days.
I mean, we had
Primitive.
one. I mean, even in our when we lived in the house, we had a house that we lived in for. We weren't in that house very long. 5, 6 years maybe. It
Mm.
had two stories, right? The bedrooms were upstairs and main downstairs, and it did have a basement as well. But I don't think my parents ever had a phone upstairs, right?
Huh. So they had to go
People,
downstairs to get the phone?
yeah. If the phone was ringing, I mean, but people didn't call after a certain time at night, right? It was
That's true.
if you if
That's
you
true.
if the phone was ringing at night, something's wrong, right?
You're right. I mean, you're absolutely right. I mean, just like what we're talking about, schedule, routines, we spoke about that as well.
Hmm.
Our nation was in a routine, seemed like. The TV went off at a certain time.
Yeah.
You didn't
Yeah.
call people at a certain time. You didn't visit folks at a certain time. Now anybody can show up at any time. Hey man, I'm lost. It's 2 o'clock in the morning. Can you tell me how to get to I-95? What?
Yeah.
But it could happen, but they got stuff. They got devices that should prevent that from happening. But my phone rings eh, potentially around the clock.
Yeah. Luckily, on my idiot phone, I can turn it off, do not disturb,
Right.
and
You got
then
that luxury.
I, but I have certain numbers, like if my daughters call or whatever, if they
Hmm.
call, they're a priority and they bypass the do not disturb, if you will.
Yeah. Bosses and different institutions has deemed it necessary. I need to be able
Mm.
to contact my employee around the clock. I need to get a hold of Susie. Hey, Susie, where are those files that you had? Where did you put
Mm.
them? Oh, they're near the coffee pot. I forgot. I left them. Whatever.
Yeah.
What
Well,
a
that's
change.
the thing. It's just those are things that have changed, and in our lives over the years, you know.
big time.
But
I wonder, can these kids resonate with us though? I mean, their imagination, their ability to imagine is gone. It's been robbed by the cell phone. They don't have to think. They just react to stimulus.
yeah, well, they'll
They don't.
Google it, right? They'll
They
Google it,
Google it.
right? They're
What was it
constantly
like in 1965 when Krebs was born? You know what I'm saying?
not there.
What was
It,
going on?
it was an encyclopedia. That's it. You know,
Yeah, that's what we had. We had to
if I
look it up.
wanted to look something up, I had to go to. Hopefully, somebody had an encyclopedia, or I had to go to a library, which was not close to the house at all. You
Hmm.
know, now that there's you got 5, 6, 7 year olds. They get on the little reboot thing and look stuff up, and um, it's just
And
crazy.
there was no updates to the encyclopedia. That knowledge lasted your whole school. It lasted through high school. You know what I'm
Yeah,
saying?
yeah,
There was no upgrade. You like, look, there's no longer true, Sharp. What's in your encyclopedia is no longer relevant.
yeah,
Huh? What?
yeah. Well,
Now we can.
things change. You know.
Yeah, speaking of change, I'm seeing those deer in your background. It represents change. They're not
Yeah.
out there as part of just the land. This signifies something. Yeah, that
I
the
mean,
antlers
this
on.
is literally 30 feet behind my trailer. So,
And there, what I see.
well, there's a buck. That's a buck right there, a little one. This little guy right here.
Depending on where you live and your how you was raised.
That's a buck, big wide one.
Yeah, right.
Behind my head, that's a little. This one right here is just a little buck.
Okay, they all bucks still.
Mhm.
They're competing because
Yeah,
change is coming. Winter is coming, and
yeah.
that means party time. We're gonna have a feast. But what it represents to me, this change. I know you're a nature guy, but I'm
Oh, yeah.
thinking, I'm thinking that you're thinking venison. You know,
I mean,
you're thinking
it's that time of year, right? It's the
it's that time
year.
of the year. It's on the
Mhm.
wane. No pun intended.
Yeah,
We're almost there.
it's going to be, hopefully one of these, this one or this one over here, is on the menu. Is
Okay. One of you
and
guys,
those
or
that
two
don't
of you
hunt,
guys, got an expiration.
those that don't hunt, you don't feel the need to, but whatever, good on you.
It's a sport.
Well, yes, but this is sustenance, right? This is a crop that I'm growing, if you will, in my neighborhood.
Good, nice. Like raising chickens, huh?
Sure. Yeah.
Or hogs or cows.
Hmm.
Okay.
Yeah.
Good, good. So I take it you're gonna be out there, you're gonna be in stealth mode. These chickens are hard. They're very smart chickens that you got with
They are.
antlers.
They know. They
Yeah,
know when man gets in the woods. They know the time of the
right.
year. Um,
They know more than the domesticated chicken knows. The
mhm.
domesticated chicken has assumed that they are pets, you know. But these guys, the guys behind you, nah, we're not a pet. This food is not free, you
No.
know.
And the thing is that there's other people around me that are looking for these guys, right?
Oh yeah.
Now, I mean, I'm not necessarily a horn kind of guy hunter, to be honest with you. I will harvest those that
You
for
get
the
your
table.
insight to this. There are very few natural predators for those deer
In this
down
area,
here
true.
in this area. Very few. So, but they're
Well,
still very cautious. Now you got coyotes that could
hmm
get them. I doubt. It would take a pack of coyotes to take down that big one over your right shoulder.
Well, they if they catch it, right? They got
If
to
they
catch
catch it, yeah, it would,
it. Mhm.
he probably not worried about them as much, slightly concerned. So I would have to assume they know about man and they know that man has a fire stick and that fire stick can reach me regardless of where I'm at. I think they have that knowledge. What you think? Do you think they know that, hey, if I see a man, I need to just go. Okay. It's not a good thing.
Maybe,
Okay.
maybe.
Just trying to get into this dear philosophy type stuff, because I doubt you've been living there for 3 years. I doubt that any of those pets have come up to you and try to eat out of your hand.
No, they
They on,
run as soon as they
on
see me. They're gone. Yeah, they'll look
they
at
know.
you. You know, they'll look at you, but
Does he have a fire stick? I
as
don't know
soon
if
as
he.
you move, man, they're like, "Yeah, I'm out of here."
They know. Okay. All right. That's what's up.
I mean,
I
I'm
get
taking
it.
this pictures through a little thing in the window, right, of the trailer.
Right. So yeah,
So
that's good. They know. They know.
yeah,
Okay. Another thing we talked about this morning was Mount Rushmore. And conversation came up at work. I don't know how it
yeah,
came up. I
yeah.
think
We got about 10 minutes or so. We can talk a
10
little bit
minutes.
about. We had to, he likes to tease me because he thinks I'm one of those guys on Mount Rushmore.
He
Stoic
looks like
type.
he has that. I call him. Well, first of all, my tease has evolved. Okay.
Yeah.
Wayne has this this impression. This is etched. He's just one way. You might get a faint smile here and there. He's hiding it. Even when he does, he try to hide it. I'm not doing what you think I'm doing.
Yeah, I'm not big on it.
Nevertheless, I've learned to appreciate it. It's funny to me. It took me a couple of years to catch on to him, but deep under all of that stuff that he's showing to you guys, he's a human. There's a human under that. But anyway, he has this stone face. So I'm like, what has a stone face that replicate this mug? And I thought, Mount Rushmore, there's a guy on it that looks like Wayne. And it's Teddy Roosevelt. You don't think so. Look at it. Look at his face, y'all.
I I
He's like,
don't
nah.
I don't agree with that.
Anybody with hair on their face with that impression is Wayne, you know.
Hmm.
So anyway, that led us to start talking about these guys that's up there. All right, one, to our listening audience, can you name? No, there's no need to even go there because you're just gonna Google it. So there's four individuals up there. You got George Washington. You got Teddy Roosevelt. I'm not naming them in order, by the way.
Because you don't know
You
who
got
the other were.
you got Thomas
Yeah,
Jefferson. Yeah, I remember him. Only because you mentioned it the other day. And then you got Abraham Lincoln. These guys. Now we were trying to figure out why he was up there. Now I naturally could have George Washington being the first president, as we're told.
hmm.
Abraham Lincoln. I could understand why he was up there. I did not know why Thomas Jefferson is up there, and I did not know why Teddy Roosevelt was up there. Not saying they shouldn't be. I just didn't know. Only thing I could think of with Roosevelt was something that he accomplished before he was a president. He was a rough rider. But what did he do when he was in office? I don't know. I can't answer that.
You
Thomas
should know. I told
Jefferson.
you. I told you why he was up there.
Yeah, you told me. I think I'm just gonna throw a generality out there. I can't go specific, but some of the programs that he
He did, yeah.
instituted during his tenure that probably helped
Well,
out society.
it was mostly because of the national park system. I think I mean, he
Yeah.
really established a lot of them.
I think we call that esprit de corps, something
Mhm.
like that. Something like that. The spirit of the nation. It was exonerated, manifested, magnified through the preservation of our natural landscape. This is America the Beautiful. We grew up under that term, America the Beautiful, right? So
Mm,
anyway, so him that the national parks, and I think they're vital. I give him credit. Hey, good job, Teddy.
mm.
Okay. And then Thomas Jefferson, I think he was instrumental in the Constitution, but what did he do when he was a president? Why were they up there solely because they all were presidents, but was it was it just that? Or was it some other accomplishments? What did Thomas Jefferson do while he was president? Can you think? I can't think of anything. Yeah.
Well, as a president, right? I forget
Yeah.
what it was for him exactly, but as his tenure as president, but um, he's most noted for the author of the um, Constitution, I believe, or Declaration
Yeah.
of
Yeah, that's
Independence.
where I was going, but I don't know what he did while he was a president. And
I'm
so I
sure
think
someone will put it in the comment down there
yeah,
exactly.
somebody's gonna
You know,
Google it and don't not Google it because I said that. Go ahead and Google it
hmm
and let us know. But if you didn't have to Google it and you have integrity and say, hey, I knew this, then feel free to put that in the comments as well. But if you got to
yeah.
Google, you got time to Google it, you know what I'm saying? You got 38 seconds, go ahead, Google it
But why do
and
you
put your
think? Why did you think Abraham Lincoln was on there
yeah.
initially?
Because
What?
of his
On all honesty, why did you?
oh honestly, first and foremost, Abraham Lincoln kept the Union together. He preserved the
Okay,
Union.
I was thinking you were
Second,
going to say something else,
yeah,
but
yeah, I'm gonna say something else. And you're right. To quote to get back up of that would be, creating, doing what the Constitution said. All men are created equal.
mhm.
A master under his tenure, the slaves were emancipated. So yeah, that would be next. But first, preservation of the union, and even he said that was first and foremost. And we all, regardless of whether you're black, white, or somewhere in between, should be grateful for that. We have become a more perfect nation. You know what I'm saying? By going through and actually, the Constitution was good. I mean, they did what they could. It was a great foundation to build off of. I would say that. Yeah,
Yeah,
it was a great,
absolutely.
really good foundation. And saying all men are created equal, that was good. And then going and having the ability to make amendments and to put the women in there and the different groups and all that kind of stuff. It's an expanding document with the amendments and the way
But
you
I
go.
mean, yeah,
Yeah,
but it still took what 100 years,
it took a
basically,
while. Yeah, you had to.
for the
You got
till
like
the civil
your
rights
word, the,
movement, right?
the paradigm shift. And, you conditioned to think a certain way. We got to change that to meet the tenets that's in the Constitution. We got to do this paradigm shift, and it's going to take time. It's not going to happen. You're not going to change my mind overnight. It took, like you said, about 100 years to get to
Yeah,
that point. You know.
yeah,
So yeah, and there it be, and some great men and women was instrumental in, getting that, having a lot of courage to make that change.
yeah. They
Say, hey,
did.
we need a paradigm shift, even for the women, and being liberated. I mean, we had a certain thing that women could not do. Women could not own property. Women could not vote. Women could not couldn't work.
Yeah,
They could only do certain jobs. So big change, big change had to come. Paradigm,
yeah. They
paradigm
did.
shift, and it takes a while to. The bigger the boat, the longer it's going to take to turn it around. So so that's what happened. So we're just living up to the Constitution. But
Yeah,
yeah,
but
that was
and I think we'll see a lot of changes coming, right?
hmm
More changes coming. I mean, there's obviously people that feel they're talking about the LGBTQ, trans, this argument. It's going to take time for, that sector of people to get where they feel they can do what they want to do in this country, which is basically, whatever, but
Sure.
it's not.
Yeah. They have to that community. Uh, okay, it exists, right?
It
It exists,
exists.
and same-sex marriages, people that want to change the gender, whatever they want to do. How do you
Yeah.
blend that with another? How do you blend that with the Christian element of our society?
Well, this is what our country was is formed and was based on Christianity, right? In God we
Yeah,
trust.
you can
Is
see a
an
lot of Christianity infused in our Constitution, our way of life, what our laws, our government, everything.
mhm.
So, with that being said, I think I'm gonna have to put the onus on the Christians, right? Our job is just to spread the gospel. That's it. God does the judging. We
That's
let
right.
let whoever know, hey, God, Jesus is out there. He loves you. He wants you to embrace him. So and that's that. I can't be hating on folks for their choices, even though that's not my choice. It's not my
Right.
choice. It's not my choice to switch up. I don't have what's going on inside of me. It's different from what's going on inside of you. So
Yeah.
I get it, and God has to be the judge of that. But I'm required to embrace all humans and
You
let them
are,
know.
but you
Yeah,
also, but it's weird because, I ain't gonna say I struggle with this, but it's where when you think about that kind of stuff, you're not supposed to condone it either.
yeah. I think when you talk about, if you look at it, if you go back and look at it, right?
We
I'll
got
try to
a
be
couple
brief.
minutes. We got a couple
Yeah,
minutes, so
couple minutes. It's gonna be quick. When going back to the
where's
nation
your
of
hour?
Israel.
Where's your hourglass? You better
All
put it
right.
on because
Yeah,
you get
where's that
on.
thing? It's another room. But anyway, I'll say this real quick. If you're inside of Christianity, you subject yourself to the rules of Christianity. But if you're outside, that's what God to deal with. I'm just to sum it up.
Hmm.
So just like being on any workplace, any sport or whatever you're affiliated with, you gotta abide by the rules of that. But if you're outside of that, hey, fair game. But if you're inside, there's rules that you're subjected to. So there's that.
Yeah, and
And
that's the
that's
thing is, as Christians, it's like turning a blind eye, and I've
what
seen.
by introducing them to God or to what you believe in, hey, you're not necessarily turning a blind eye. You're saying
Well, that's
that,
what
hey,
some people turn a blind eye to. They don't tell them really. They'll be like, yeah, whatever. Even though that you should be, you know,
I don't know if
telling
we should tell them.
this is what God says, right? If they don't believe, then that's something they're going to have to deal with when the
Hmm.
time comes, right?
Yeah, I don't know if I should. I don't know. I'm divided on whether I should attack what they're doing and put them
Well,
on the
that,
defensive versus just introduce them to Jesus.
well, that's because that's in your nature. You're really not that kind of. You're not a, you know, you don't like conflict in your life at all. So,
No, I don't like it.
no,
I
and
don't.
it,
I
and
don't
that's where,
welcome it.
and that's the problem. A lot of Christians, they don't. They're we're taught to love thy neighbor, right? That's probably, and it's
Mhm.
and then when your neighbor has a different belief system than you, it's there's a conflict in there. So,
Yeah,
but we have less
yeah.
than a
Well,
minute. We have less than a
yeah,
minute.
yeah,
We'll save the rest of that. That's another show, right? And it's very
yeah.
controversial,
That
but
sounds like a good one. Sound
yeah,
like a good
but
one.
for those that are watching, appreciate each and every one of you. Hit the like button. To share it if you feel the need. It doesn't really make no difference to us in the sense we don't do this for money. Um, Thanks again for all your support, and we'll catch you on the next one. God bless.
God bless.